My mom sent a voicemail. "You're out of the family business. Expect a call from our lawyer." I didn't argue, just replied, "Understood." Then I quietly sold my 40% share. 2 days later, my phone lit up with 86 missed calls from my sister pleading for me to reverse it. To explain, our grandfather built the small engineering firm from a single rented workshop and a pair of second-hand lathes. When he died, he divided ownership. Dad 35%, Mum 25%, and me 40%. A portion grandfather insisted I could only keep if I put in the work. I complied. Straight out of school, I moved into the back offices, learning scheduling, ledgers, inventory cycles, and supplier negotiation. My younger sibling, Marcus, went to university, came back with a fancy title and a tidy role selling the company to clients. Polished presentations, dinners, handshakes, while the real tedious labor landed on me. For 14 years, I was the one who balanced the spreadsheets and fixed the emergencies. Friends and relatives would joke, and the family would laugh along. "Oh, Ethan handles the numbers. Bless him. He's the practical one." Mom would say it like a compliment wrapped in pity. Marcus would smirk, calling me the company's operations nerd as if that were a smallness. But the lights stayed on because of me. Every time the family splurged on a lavish anniversary party for the staff or upgraded the showroom to something flashier than necessary, my stake absorbed the shock. I delayed buying a reliable car for 2 winters, funneled that cash into payroll during a supplier dispute, and emptied a modest savings account I tucked away from early freelance gigs when a bank payment fell through because someone had mismanaged the account. My ownership was never freedom. It felt more like a safety net stitched into my chest. I endured it for approval, wanted to be seen as more than the fixer. The warning signs were obvious. I'd be left out of strategic planning sessions Marcus attended despite not understanding the balance sheet. Major layoffs and product pivots would be announced to staff, with me learning the details an hour later when reconciliation demanded answer. Mum's helpful remarks whenever I suggested frugality, Marcus interrupting me at family dinners and literally walking away mid-discussion. I swallowed my pride and kept hoping my competence would eventually win respect. Then that email came. Cold, clinical, no room for conversation. "You're out. Expect our lawyer." No rationale, no meeting, just a cancellation of everything I'd invested my best years in. I didn't react right away. I sat on the cheap couch I'd postponed replacing and felt like someone had cut the strings holding my lungs. Weeks later, scrolling through a professional networking site, I saw a glossy announcement. Mum and Marcus smiling beside a suited stranger. A press release boasting a strategic alliance that would reimagine the company's future. They'd signed a sweeping agreement that would rewrite governance and dilute the existing ownership structure, the very enterprise I still held 40% of, and I learned it through a headline. I called. Mum's voice was sugary and distracted. "Oh, that," she said, as if it were a minor errand. "We meant to tell you. It all moved so quickly, darling. We didn't think you needed to be involved. You're not here every day. It's complicated." Marcus hopped on, patronizingly cheerful. "You always bog down in numbers," he said. "Let us handle the real stuff. You wouldn't follow it anyway." 12 years of late nights and last resort bank transfers condensed into a shrug. The hurt hardened into a different clarity. I stopped bargaining with hope and started acting. I rang some contacts. It turned out my 40% was the fulcrum their partner needed to guarantee control. They'd planned to leverage my shares as collateral and buy me out later with an offer routed through their solicitor that would have been an insult. Without my block, the partner wouldn't sign. So I made a decision. Instead of begging, I sold my stake to their chief rival for 3 times what the family's lawyer had proposed. The papers were signed on a gray Wednesday. By Friday, my phone was a constant alarm. Marcus's messages stacked. "Call me now. What have you done?" The deal collapsed. "Do you understand the damage?" Mum's messages were fewer but sharper. Tears, blame, panic. Dad barely left his office. Their pleas escalated into late-night voicemails, begging reconciliation, promises to make it right, threats about legal recourse, and finally a desperate, exhausted message about Dad's heart trouble. I read them all and felt only a cool satisfaction I hadn't expected. Then I typed 4 words and sent them. "Understood. Best of luck." After that, I blocked every number.